Which lads, welcome to Oak Swamp and part 12 of The Leaf, a ratty roadster. Okay, so it's Monday dinner time, all my t-shirts are sent off. And we're back in here. I moved the brakes back because they were way too far forward. And it's all working really well, the idea is all there, this is all set up. But what I've got to do, you see the clutch down there? Although it works, I'm not really overly happy with it, it's a bit Mickey Mouse, so what I'm going to do is take this bracket off and probably start again down there a bit. The clutch was really light, so I'm going to work on the ratio on that as well, just to make it a little bit stiffer so you can feel it. It was effortless before, so I've got to get away from that a little bit. This is the clutch pedal. The problem with this is, started off as my first go and it's stayed on there. You see, you got a lot of play because this has got no shaft on it really. So I was round my mate Sean's the other day, Wes, my 13mm spanner, and he's got a build on the go there, and I said to him, whatever you do, don't weld anything, tack everything right to the last minute. To do what I want with this now, I've got to cut it all open. Okay, the problem lies with this. This is a bit too big for that, so it's wiggling around in there. Now I found a bit of, it's an old steering idler and arm there. I'll be using this piece later for sure, but I need a little bit of it to go in there just to finish off the drag link, and that gives me that much. So I'm going to lock this end off and I'm going to work at trying to do something around this piece of metal. I'm going to take you all the way today because I haven't thought about any of this so far, so this is the journey I usually go. That's better. We put a grease nipple in there, weld up the other end. This is about the thickest steel I've used on here and it's welded, so I've got to cut him off. Right, so now I can just attach this to there. I think what will sort this out is if I put a stop on here, put a split pin through there. I think that'll probably do it. While I'm at it, I'm going to trim this bracket up a bit round here, just to tidy it up. Like my little thumb protection. Nails right off now. Maybe I'll show you later. Right, in an effort to put a thread into here that's manageable, I found this little bit of tube, and what I'm going to do is get them into there and then run a thread down in. That'll hold the clutch pedal on. Let's see how much I've got in. 20mm, that'll do. So here's John.
Hey.
You remember Nick?
Hello.
And what we're doing is we're just on the embryo of starting a bluegrass band. We're going to have a few little practices and then we're going to get a banjo player in, aren't we? And a mandolin and a fiddle. So watch this space. Right, this is a washer off a bus. I don't know what part of the bus it's off. It's probably something to do with the suspension by the look of it. But my nipper services and MOTs buses now and again, so he gets me all the old ones. But it's nice and thick. It's got to be about 6mm thick, but it makes a good little plate. Hello, mate. Hold on with that washer. Pissed on my GoPro, dirty bastard. There you go, that's that washer. and that's going to go over this. This is going to go onto here, and this piece here is going to be like the bump stop for the clutch. That's going to go through there, and then the clutch can sit flat against this. Okay, so I've lined this washer up, so that's the angle it's got to be at. But it doesn't come straight back on this, so when I put said piece in and have it where it should be, you can see it goes miles out. So what I'm going to do is cut this off at an angle, and then hopefully I can swivel it round and it'll be right. It's a bit of a mash up, I know, but I can't be bothered to cut all this off. If I hadn't have welded it all on there like the idiot, I would have just started again, because it's easy. But I did weld it on there, and it's like 6 mils welded on there, so I've got to continue in this direction. Now it looked like that, but I'll just weld them up, but they'll still be as strong. Gonna make a little spacer out of this bit of tube. Okay, so I'm gonna put a bit of a gusset, a bit of a plate on the back of this, just to give it a bit more strength, a little bit more rigidity. I want it to be nice and strong.
In this town, had a ring like mine, had a ring like mine. If you go so slow, how can I roll where the wheels won't go?
Right, that's why you don't weld up. You only tack anything, because otherwise you end up with weird looking brackets like this, but it's never ever really going to be seen. But I wanted it to be strong, and I just put a bit of 5 mil I think in there. It's a big lump of something, but it's on there anyway, isn't it? You see, this little washer's going to go in there, and that takes that right to the end, and I'm going to put a washer on there. What I'm going to use is one of these segs I cut out of the rat. That one there, I'll just clean up around the edge, drill a bigger hole. There we go, that's nice and strong now, and it's nice and straight on there. So I need to put a grease nipple in here, I think. The grease nipple's not going to thread straight into there, so what I'm going to do, I've got a nut that fits it. I'm just going to weld the nut to there, blank the other end off, and we got some grease baby in there, and then I'll keep that clutch nice and free. I'm just going to put a couple of welds on that, and then I'm going in for a cup of tea. What I tend to do with myself, like this morning, I've said I've got to get this bracket up, welded, get the grease nipple done, and it all ready to go in, and then I can have a cup of tea. So it's sort of like a proverbial carrot, you know what I mean? And I'm gagging for a cup of tea. Now I just got to block that up. You're gone. Yeah, by the time that's pumped full of grease, that'd be bang on in it. It's never ever going to break. What was that? I get this a lot. This is the lens to my GoPro. There you go. That looks much better than that now. Looks nice and solid. Right, I'm going to set these pedals up now. What I plan to do with this pedal is to bring it over here, because I'm going to have the clutch there, I'm going to have the throttle in the middle and the brake on the right. Now this is how the car would have been originally, and a lot of cars in them days were like it. And the reason they did it is the steering column's in the way. So if you've got an uninterrupted good bit of braking here, you know what I mean, you can really hump on it. It's probably going to be a bit weird to drive to start with, but I've had worse. I'm going to bend that over a bit. I think I want to bring them over by about 25 mil on this. Ooh, I think that's about it. Went easy, didn't it? Right, that's the pedal where I want it. and it'll sit about there. Look. Now I've got to do the same to this clutch pedal. You can see it's a bit wonky, but I only did it to get it going. Right, so I'm just going to cut this little bit of a pedal off here. Got this bumper end. I'm going to see if the stainless comes off, because it's a nice shaped bit of metal, make a nice pedal. So what I'll probably end up doing is just cutting that straight off there and welding another one, but I like the circle. And it looks as though it's about the same size as the other one. That's not bad, is it? So I've got to get a bit of rod for this, about that size actually. Oh, a little wheel brace of some description. Looks about right. And the worst fair, Sledge and all comes to the rescue. This is how it is, honestly. I use any bits of metal I've got, so if it means beating the granny out of it for 10 minutes, so be it. I'm going to copy this curve onto here, because this is the brake pedal and it's doing pretty much the same thing, so I just got to gently get that round to there. That'll do for that for the minute. So what I'm going to do now, get this seat out, because there's a few bits that need doing under here, a few bits of welding, etc. Now I've got the seat out, I can drill and fix these and then cut them off. Then I'm going to take this out and I'm going to weld this handbrake bracket up, because it has never been welded, so I'm going to run a couple of little runs along there and bolt it in for good. Then I'll start bolting this wood in for good. It's pretty much there. I've got a few little bits of steering, and then floor can go down last of all. But it's a good bit out of the way, because if I don't do this now, if I get it on the road, it's going to be the last thing I do. Not good, isn't it?
John in me a while, a little baby boy, you could hold him in the palm of his hand. His papa cried out, his lonesome farewell. Sonny gonna be a steel driving man, Lord, Lord. Sonny gonna be a steel driving man. John hit the window from the mountain, looked down the other side. The mountain was so tall and John's hand was small. Laid down his hammer and he cried, poor boy. Laid down his hammer and he cried.
27.5. Right, got to bend this
John Henry to the tunnel.
to about there, something like that. Now this has got to go down at 90.
Cool drink of water before I die, Lord, Lord. Cool drink of water before I die. Talk about John Henry as much as you be. Same do all that you can.
Right, what this is going to do is it's going to go into there, like so, with the pedals coming through. And then this piece down here, I put the bend in too early, so I'm going to straighten it out, but even then it's probably going to be too short. Trouble is now, when I bend that down, it's very likely to snap, which is annoying. I suppose I could heat it up.
My head, Lord, Lord. I'm rolling here in my
Right, now let's try it really, really fast.
John Henry was a little baby boy, you could hold him in the palm of your
I've just drilled that one in the wrong place. So as I've cut this off too short and drilled that in the wrong place, yeah, I'm gonna make it again. Look what it's got written on the back of this bit of alley. It's surprising how quick it is to cut that out. All that messing around today. But anyway. So I've given myself enough space this time, and I included the elbow, the 90°, what was already in there, so I'm going to whip him off, and then I'm somewhere near. What I'm going to have to do then is just wait until I'm putting this in, and then I'll trim it up properly. I'm going to do the top today, put some curlies around this. This will be tightened up, and then you put your feet in it, nice and solid. Obviously this is all just thrown in there at the moment, but yep, proper raining today. Oh, the weather's so bad I'm not going out there. I can't do what I've got to do out there. It's just too heavy. So for half hour I'm gonna clean up this rad. Now I've got a fella to repair this rad, as you can see around here, and he put a new cap on it, and he said it's virtually sound. It's got one little thing I've got to fill up like that from the other side, but that's it. He said he pressure tested it and he said it seemed alright, but I'm unsure how these will react to a pressurised system. I've used one before and I can't remember what I did. I remember restricting the flow on the inlet to sort of try and slow it down. So I don't know what this is going to do, but I'm going to give them a clean up. So I'm going to hit it first with this, oh, it's 240. It's a rainy day job.
Where was you when the train left town? I was standing on the corner with my head hanging down. The hammer gone, left the hammer down. Shoot that train and trip and burn from down.
I like this horny bit on the edge here. I think I'm going to hit it with a slightly harder paper. I don't want to take too much, but I'd like it to look a little bit less blobby than that.
Where was you?
I found this rasp is really blunt, which is perfect because it's not so aggressive.
Wish the Lord that the train would wreck, kill the engineer and break the fireman's neck. Hey, the train, the cabin girl from town. Hey, hey, yeah.
You can see it's starting to get round now. It don't look so ugly.
Really? You can't wish that on anybody. Wait, the train's gonna wreck. That's hundreds of people, man.
It's horrible.
Yeah, but I get to fix it, so it's alright. Ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. Can you show me the one that I'm
I think that dude's got a dink in the front here. I'm not going to even bother trying to get that. Now I'm going to just take the top off those.
on my money sack? Hey, the train, the camera go from town. Hey, hey,
What I'm going to do is get rid of all the lumpy bits off of this and then just give it a tickle over with this real fine stuff.
there goes the train, took my girl from town. If I don't her none, but Lord, I flag her down.
Right, what I'm doing around the back here is I'm just knocking out little bits of brassy goodness just to catch your eye on. So I'm starting to get a bit of a thing with brass lately, but I like it. Brassy goodness. John Lancaster Radiators Limited, Factories, Middlesex, Surrey, Sussex, Essex, Hampshire and Berkshire. There you go. Right, so now on this rad, what I'm going to do, when the guy did the repairs on it, he tested it up to whatever they do, 1.5 psi or something like that. And he said there's a little leak here. Now, he was doing the front when I got there, and he said, well, you can just finish it off. And what he's given me is this little stick. And he said what they use this for is repairing aluminium radiators. And he said if I just fill those 3 holes up, then that'll do the job. So I'm going to give this a go and see what happens. Where the fuck's that going? Where are you going? You're driven out the other side. No, it's not coming through, so I suppose we just keep filling them up. Where are you going to there, Mish? giving this a final once over just to get the machine type marks out of it to make it look a bit natural. And then I'm going to chuck it outside and it can start to age immediately. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm glad I got that done because rainy days make you do jobs like this, because that would have just got left, and I've got to do as much finishing with this car as I go really, because once it's on the road I have to open the door. You can see why I ain't out here, can't you? Right, this is where I got to yesterday, and I really needed to stop raining because I need to fix everything in now. But you can get the idea there. This is going to have some little cheeks on here as well. Put some little alley cheeks down there, and you put your hoof in there, and it gives you an extra, probably just over an inch, which is enough. Problem is, I always build cars for myself, and by doing that, they only fit me really because I'm skinny. You get a big mush in there, you can't get in. But I think by doing little bits like this will help, and it breaks up the floor as well, doesn't it? What I'm going to be doing, which I did plan to do today actually, is I'm going to make a bracket for here, and it's going to support off the timber support behind. But obviously I've got to get all of this open to do any of these jobs, so that's why I'm just fanning around inside. But a job I can do, and I've been meaning to, when I'm like working on the car there, I invariably take the steering wheel off. It gives you loads more room. So what I did on the rat, I took the nut and I took this sprocket and I welded a piece in between, and then it sat there like that as a centre. It meant I never lost this nut again, and I got a bit of quick release, and it looks kind of funky once it goes rusty. So that's what I'm going to do now. Do you want one of those? Put the square bar, and we'll mark them off. I don't know if that's going to be the final thing, but all the time I'm working on it. That's the fella. Tent light. There you go, and there's just enough you can grab hold of it. Well, I'm going to clean this dashboard up again. It just needs a nice clean up round all these edges. But first of all, I'm going to take all the top off and try and get it one colour again. Colour again. There you go, GoPro. It's all happening this week. My GoPro mount has just, it's done its day. I've used that for pretty much the whole of the Austin series. It's done alright. You see it's magnetic. What I'm doing is just tidying up all these edges, making them look a bit better, and then I'm going to shampoo everything. Bit of Oak Swamp special frog oil, and I'm going to give this a good lashing. You'll notice it's quite thick. Right, they'll have a bit like that. Frog oil. I need a bigger rag. Oh, I really like the smell of this stuff. You wait till you see how cool it looks. There you go. Looks pretty cool in that colour. Needs another coat. We've had a little bit of sun today. Unfortunately I had other stuff doing, but I've wheeled them out and sort of sat them together. Even though I haven't done loads because of the rain, I've got loads of bits that are annoying that need doing, and it's all those little finishing bits which are going to hamper me later if I don't do them now. But it looks really comfy in there now, doesn't it? Thinking on ideas on the dash come out really well. Look how lovely that is. And what this is like as well, this frog oil, it doesn't leave no residue at all. Well, the old radiator looks way better now as well, and it sort of, it matches in a bit better now, doesn't it? It looks apart. Super cool from that angle. It looks very hot rod, even though it's not. Right, so what I'm going to do next week is I'm going to bolt all of this in, not the seat, but all of the floor, get that all sorted. Finish the odd jobs on the pedals, put the other round washer thing onto that, which I'm probably going to thread. I'm going to do 2 door panels, probably in the alley, and then I'm going to do 2 panels down by the footwell there, up on the sides, and they're being plied. Then I'm going to be moving forward, thinking about fixing the bulkhead off properly, and I'm going to be heading into this engine, and this little fella here wants heading down towards that. I've got a new cam belt for it, and I've got a new oil filter and oil to go in there. I'll be mounting the coil and getting the engine wired up. Then I can think about putting some hoses on. We might even have a run in next week. But anyway, if you want to see any of that, you're going to have to tune in next time. So make sure you get yourself subscribed. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like and a comment. If you want to support the channel, please go to the tip jar, or better still, go over to my shop and get you a lovely Oak Swamp t-shirt or hoodie. Thanks for watching, dudes, and I'll catch you next time. Hang loose.